There's a moment, we've all felt it. When a song hits you so hard, it feels like it's speaking directly to your bones. There's no explanation, no logic, just impact. It's wild how a few vibrations in the air can make us feel understood, energized, heartbroken, or alive. But here's the thing, the reaction isn't random. There's an actual psychology behind why certain music hits us harder than others. And today we're going to unpack it. The science, the emotion, the memory, the identity, all the invisible threads that tie us to sound. Welcome to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music, the riffs, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or just hungry for knowledge, Ampyre is your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Ampyre Sessions. I am your host, Dustin. Welcome back to another episode. We are currently on episode number 3. Last one, we did a little fun subcategory, which was our what if category and an alternate universe category. We're going to get back on track with another fun episode breaking down basically the psychology of our favorite songs and why it hits us so hard. Today, we're diving into something every music lover has experienced, but rarely understands: why music affects us so deeply. We're not talking about specific songs or clips. We're talking about the mechanics behind the emotional punch, so to speak. Why certain rhythms feel like adrenaline and why certain melodies feel nostalgic. Why distortion feels like a rebellion and why a single chord can break you open. Let's get into the psychology of it all. All right, so the brain is a music machine. Music isn't just entertainment. It is a complete neurological event inside you. When you hear music, your brain lights up like a city at night. I don't know if you've ever seen those little brain maps that they do for electrical activity inside your brain, but when you hear music, it actually looks and lights up like a road map, so to speak, like when you're up in the air in a plane at night and you overlook a city and it's all bright and you see all the street markers and stuff like that. That's how your brain looks. It's very cool. But different regions activate simultaneously. So the auditory cortex processes pitch and rhythm within your brain. The limbic system handles your emotion processing. The hippocampus triggers memory. The motor cortex prepares your body to move. And the prefrontal cortex interprets the meaning of the song. Okay? So music is one of the few things that activates all these systems all at once. So literally when your brain is listening to music, every part is firing off: left, right, up, down, diagonal. Doesn't matter. Your brain is actively working. And that is why music feels so powerful to you. Why it matters. Your brain isn't passively listening. It's participating. That's why a concert feels so real when people actually get inside of it and experience it. It's predicting the next beat. It's reacting to tension and release. It's syncing your heartbeat to the rhythm. It's releasing dopamine when something hits just right. Music is literally a chemical experience inside your brain. Why emotion and sound are connected? So humans are wired to respond emotionally to sound. It's ancient and it's primal. It's just built inside of us. It's how we were born with it. So I'll kind of break down the reasonings behind that and certain frequencies. So low frequencies, we feel them in our chest. They trigger instinctive reactions like power, danger, intensity, kind of like a fight or flight type of situation. Higher frequencies, they feel bright, sharp, and alert, and they activate attention. They grasp you. They pull you in. Your minor tonalities, we associate them with sadness or tension. Major tonalities, we associate them with resolution or joy. And these aren't rules, they're tendencies, but they shape how we interpret sounds on a gut level. Why does distortion feel emotional? Distortion mimics the sound of a human voice pushed to its limits, such as shouting, crying, straining. It feels raw because it is raw. Why rhythm feels physical? Your brain syncs to the beat. Your body follows to the beat. It's a biological entertainment. Music doesn't just hit your ears, it hits your nervous system as well. There is also a memory connection. So here's where things get a little bit personal. Music is tied to memory in a way almost nothing else is. And what I mean by that is you hear a certain sound and suddenly you're transported back to a childhood room, back to a first heartbreak, back to a concert that changed you, or for an example, back to a moment you didn't know mattered. This happens because the hippocampus, the memory center of our brain, is deeply involved in processing the music. Why does this matter? When a song hits you hard, it's the memory that is attached to that song. It's the version of you that existed when you first heard that song. It's the emotional imprint on you. Music becomes a time machine. It transports you back to the way you felt that day. That is why the memory part of a song hits so hard. Identity in sound. Music isn't something we listen to. It's something we use to define ourselves. Why certain genres resonate with us. People gravitate towards music that reflects to their own internal world. Okay, so if you are an intense type of personality, you might love heavier music, like your metal side of things. If you're an introspective type of person, you might love atmospheric music or emotional music. If you're a rebellious type, distortion feels like home to you. So it just depends. Whatever internal world that is around you is what you might take with you and what you might listen to and feel more deeply on. Music becomes a mirror of yourself. Exactly why I think in my first episode, I even stated I could probably sit and ask someone questions like, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite genre, and why? And immediately I can tell the type of personality they have just by their music tastes. That is why music becomes a mirror. It shows who you are. Why we feel protective of our favorite artists. That is also why we feel protected of them. We don't want people to judge what type of music we enjoy. It's because they represent something about us. They express emotions we can't always articulate. So it's another way of processing for us. They validate our experiences. And this is why we bond over music a lot when it comes to each of us. Shared experiences in life in general is why we bond over music. Shared taste feels like a shared identity. You feel welcomed. And you feel like you're a part of family, a part of something. It's a social glue. And music hits hard because it hits you. It is your story, your personality, and your emotional wiring. I know I've kind of hit everyone with a lot of information right now, but yes, this is why I do this, because I really think people don't take an introspective look into music in order to understand why things are the way they are. And I love doing this because this is exactly how I feel about music. Everything that I am saying, I 100% agree with, at least from my end. Some people might disagree because they have different experiences, but at least everything that I'm saying, it feels rational to me. We'll go on to the role of tension and release. So one of the more powerful psychological mechanisms in music is tension and release, okay? Your brain loves patterns. It predicts what comes next. When music builds through tension, through rhythm, harmony, or dynamics, your brain leans forward. It grasps its attention. It grasps its ear, so to speak. When the release finally comes, your brain rewards you with dopamine. Like, say you really like EDM music and you got that massive build and it's about to drop. The beat is about to drop. Immediately when it does, your brain rewards you with dopamine because you knew it was coming and you felt it. Examples of tension in music could be a rising melody, a building drum pattern, a chord that doesn't resolve, or a vocal line that holds a note longer than expected. That's why some of your greatest vocalists out there, when they actually do hit long pitched notes and can drag it out for miles, that's what your brain comes to reward you with, because it's a great feeling. Examples of release, I just talked about it, the drop of a song. You have that build up, it hits a peak, and then boom, it drops. The chorus of a song, you could be rewarded with the chorus. That makes sense because it's just like storytelling. When an artist goes through the start of their song, it's a good build up. It tells you an interesting story. And then once they hit that chorus, that's when you start feeling the gravitational pull towards that song because now you're hitting the point where you're like, okay, this is either serious or depends on what type of mood the song is. Examples of another release could be the resolution. So it could be a storytelling type of song, and you finally hit a resolution in the song. The beat landing exactly where you hoped. Again, that could be also considered with the drop, but it could be any song. The beat landing exactly where you hoped, and your brain rewards you. And this is why music, it feels like a journey. Your brain is literally riding a wave when you listen to music because there's so much going on that it's having to process, and neurons are firing left and right. And yeah, you just feel so alive. Why music hits you and not others. This is a very interesting part to this episode. So this is where psychology gets beautifully personal. Again, we kind of go back to the first episode I had where we tried to break down why two guitarists play the same things, but they don't hear the same. This is kind of sort of similar. So two people can hear the same song and have completely different reactions. Why is that? So we'll kind of break down the main reasons why. First one, personal history. Depending on your background, stuff of that nature, of your upbringing, or, the emotions that you've went through in life, that shapes the emotional triggers to a song. Cultural background, this is also huge. Different cultures interpret sound differently. Kind of goes back into where you grow up at, like how your sound is represented. Someone in Washington, D.C. might hear a song that's the same, but then I'm going to have a different introspection if I'm living in, Santa Clara, California. It just depends on the culture, the background. Your personality also goes into why music hits you and could be not others. Introverts, extroverts, empaths, thrill seekers, we all respond differently to songs. The next one is for emotional state. Music hits differently depending on what you are going through. Whether someone's going through a breakup or they just lost a loved one or something like that. A song that they hear, that was that other person's song. It might hit them just a little bit harder than what someone else is feeling right now when they listen to the same song. Same thing if someone loses a loved one. You might play that song that loved one really liked, and yeah, it really hits you. And then identity. We like music that feels like us, right? It feels normal. It feels natural to listen to that music. There's no universal best music. Only what resonates with your internal world is what is best. Just because I have a metal liking and a metal feel doesn't mean someone else doesn't. That's cool. That's okay. But that is my perception. That's what resonates with me. But yeah, tell a little story about this section of why music hits and resonates for the emotional state part. Little side note, last year I lost my uncle, and how songs work out when you go to someone's funeral. So I went home after I heard the news, and I played, there was a song, Give Heaven Some Hell by Hardy. I played that and I'm like, man, that hits, that resonates for what I'm going through right now. And it's funny how the world actively works, because when I attended my uncle's funeral, that is the second song that played. And I broke down like a little baby. And it shows to you why music hits you and not others, just because it could be a situation like that where I resonate with something because that's what I knew. Compared to someone else, they might have a different song, a different perception of what's going on. That's what they're going to feel like. Music hits us hard because it's wired into who we are, biologically, emotionally, and psychologically. It's memory, identity, chemistry, and storytelling all wrapped into one experience. But thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the psychology of sound. If this episode opened up a new way of thinking about why music moves you, Stick around. The rest of January is packed with episodes that explore the craft and culture of music in every angle. And if you guys don't mind, please go to my website, www.ampyresessions.com. You will see up on the top tab, I have listed social accounts, whether it could be anywhere from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now called X. Also, I have a YouTube channel, and also there's TikTok up there as well. If you guys feel free, please click one of those. Hit a like, hit a follow, hit a share, hit a subscribe. I would appreciate completely. A word of mouth is huge. We are in 2026 after all. I'm looking for a big pop here, so definitely any help that you guys could give me, I would appreciate it 100%. But yeah, you've been listening to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep the fire alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay bold, and never fade into the noise. This was Ampyre Sessions.